Said his house ain't a home and he's losing sleep. Wife cold as steel, vibe off track. Asked me how the hell to get his edge back.
What's going on, guys? I actually have a really good sponsored video for you guys today. In fact, I got two this week, and I'm going to drop one on Thursday afternoon. But I didn't have one last week, which was really helpful because I was working on the audiobook for Keep Your Bish. And I just wrapped that up yesterday and got that submitted to ACX, to Audible. And so that should come out December 1st, if everything goes well. If they approve everything, there's no problem. So, but we got a good one today, and this one's going to get me into some trouble because whenever I talk about consent, I always get in trouble because my views fundamentally go against the narrative, against the Me Too narrative. Okay, so my man wrote in. He says, "I keep striking out with these women. What am I doing wrong? Paul, I need some advice because this keeps happening and I do not get it. I am 52, divorced after 22 years, and I feel like a rookie out here. I can meet women, I can take them out, I get them laughing, I get them back to my place without any trouble, but once we get there, everything falls apart. Everything falls apart. I always start strong. We're on the couch, she sits close, she leans into me, her knees touch mine. That, women don't touch you for no reason. They don't just accidentally touch you. Just fun fact, guys. I don't know if you knew that. Everything women do is calculated. This is girl game. They're not very verbal. They're very subtle, and they're hoping that you pick up on things. That's girl game. Okay. So she puts her hand on my chest when she laughs. Okay. She's literally finding reasons to touch you. Okay. Her body language is wide open. Every sign says she's ready for things to get warm. That's when my brain goes into panic mode. I start thinking about the Me Too stuff and how quick a man can get hit with some accusations. So instead of just moving in, I ask out loud, "Is it okay if I kiss you?" Oh, wow. Is this all right? Do you want me to do this? This is what's in his email. And honestly, brother, I'm kind of laughing at this because that was me. That was me years ago. I had the same problem when I was first back on the dating circuit back in 2014. Okay, I'd been out of practice for 15 years. The Me Too stuff has been in the news since around 2006, but it didn't really blow up on social media as a hashtag until like 2017. Where Alyssa Milano made a big deal out of it, but it's been going around since 2006. It's been in the narrative, right? And so when I was out dating, since I had been out of practice, it was a whole new world out there. I was waiting for women to make the first move or give me some obvious sign they wanted me to make a move, okay? And to me, as a guy who's oblivious, and most guys are, 97% of dudes are completely oblivious to girl game. Okay. I was waiting for a written invitation, right? I was waiting for a girl to go, "I want you to kiss me," like verbally state this so that I would know it was okay. Otherwise, I just assumed she was being friendly. Okay. And that sounds like that's what you're doing here. But then I ended up in my relationship with Red Pill Chick because she was super forward. And frankly, I needed that at that time because I was stuck in this mode. So I had this gal who was just super forward. And when we met up at a brewery, and then I was talking a lot with my hands, and she grabs my hands. She goes, "Oh, you're landing airplanes. I need to stop you from using your hands." But really, it was an excuse to touch my hands and hold my hands. Okay. This is hindsight. I learned this after the fact. And then while we're at the brewery, we got up to order more drinks at one point, and she nuzzles her butt into my crotch, right? While we're standing there waiting to order at the bar. And I was like, she seems nice. She seems friendly. I think I might go for a kiss at the end of this. This is what I was thinking because I was like, I need a written invitation. Okay. I need a written invitation. Anyway, we ended up going to a second venue. This was before I even learned the whole concept of the second venue, the 2 dates in one, mind hack with women. We ended up going to a second venue. yeah, which was an Applebee's. And we went in and we had like appetizers and more drinks. And then when we came out, she like attacked me in the parking lot. She just came up to me and just starts making out with me. And I was like, I need this. Thank you very much. And then, like most guys, I ended up in a relationship with her for 4.5 years because I was striking out everywhere, and I just went in with the first girl that was nice to me. I probably, if I had spun plates and kept my options open, I wouldn't have been in an LTR with her. I wouldn't have been. But hindsight's 2020, right? But anyway, I got over that after red pill chick when I went on my first date. This was in 2019. Same MO. Okay, I went on this first date. We went for a coffee date, which I don't recommend. Although I did meet Nurse Chick on a coffee date, but that's for another episode, and I've told it before on the podcast before. But we went for a coffee date, and then after the date was over, I didn't see any obvious signs. She wasn't touching me. She wasn't doing any of the stuff. She wasn't like preening or anything that they say in the dating space. And so I was just like, okay, there's no written invitation here. And we walked around the block, and I walked her to her car, and then I went in for a hug like a loser. Right. And then I got in my car and started driving home, and I get a text message from her. And she texted me saying, I'm really disappointed that you didn't try to kiss me. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you gave no obvious signs that you wanted to be kissed? What do you mean? Okay. But then I thought back to who I was in high school or in the Navy when I met my now ex-wife. Okay. And back then I would just go for it. If I liked a chick, I would I would have some hesitation, but I would just be like, F it, go, right? Going for a kiss. And so after that incident with that chick, I was like, F it. Anytime now going forward, if I like a chick, I'm going for a kiss every single time. And then I started doing that, and I started getting lots of dates. It ended up into hookups and stuff like that. I was like, what happened, right? And then but my problem was I was too needy still, and that's where I ended up studying this material, and that's where I found How to Be a 3% Man. And Corey Wayne talks about this in the book. He talks about it as the kiss test. He says it's the ultimate test of interest. Okay, and you don't ask permission, you just go for it. Now, one of the things that Corey talks about in the book is looking at certain body language. Like if you make this triangle from one eye, like with your eyes, right? You look at her right eye, then left eye, then down to her lips, and then up to the right eye, and then left eye, and then down to the lips. If at any point while you're talking to her and you're making this triangle, if she looks down at her lips, that body language is an invitation for you to go for it. Okay. Most chicks aren't doing that kind of crap. Okay. You just got to be a man and fucking go for it. Okay. And you don't ask for permission, because as soon as you start asking for permission, it fucking kills the mood. And we'll get to that here in a minute. But 99.9999% of the time, it's going to work out, and it's going to work out great. They're going to be totally into it. You're going to end up in these awesome makeout sessions. You're going to end up back at her place or at your place. It's going to be wonderful. Okay. There's going to be like a small percentage of women that aren't going to be into it. And all you have to do is be perceptive of her body language. Okay. If she pulls back, if she gives you the cheek, that tells you everything you need to know. She's just not that into you. So for those chicks, you just don't call them back. Okay. They're just not that into you. But most of the other chicks are totally going to be into it. Okay. So the guy says, and the moment I ask, the mood crashes. She stiffens up. She moves away a little. She gets quiet. A few minutes later, she says she is tired and has to get up early. Okay. The reason why is because she's in a romantic mood mentally. She like, if she's touching you, you're intimate, you're close together, she's at your place on your couch. Like, women don't just go to a man's house, not expecting for sex to possibly happen. They don't do that. It's like a lamb going to the lion's den. They know what the fuck they're doing. Okay. They know it's possible. And all you have to do, if they agree to go back to your house, is not put your foot in your mouth, and you're probably going to be okay. So the fact that you even asked for permission, even though like the fucking internet will say, got to ask for consent. It's all about, you got to ask for consent. As soon as you fucking do, you kill the mood. you will kill the fucking mood. And the funny thing is that women will argue about this online, but in the moment, their emotions are controlling them. And when you break them, like you do a pattern interrupt by asking that question, it takes them out of it. And now all of a sudden they don't want to do it. Okay. But this is why it kills seduction. It kills seduction. So you don't verbally ask. Okay. So this always gets me in trouble. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Yeah, no, that's what we'll talk about. So women don't really want you to verbally ask for consent. They don't. I don't care what they say. There's things that women say they want. There's things that women think they want. And then there's things that they actually respond to. On this channel, we only care about what women respond to. Okay. So you don't verbally ask for consent. Okay. You don't ever do that. You just start making some moves. We'll talk about that here in a minute. I got a playbook for you, brother. Next day, I either get a message saying she did not feel a connection or nothing at all. Okay. Yeah. Because women look at guys who actually ask verbally as weak. You're weak. You're not the kind of guy that goes for things. You're not a strong, like alpha male type guy. You're a beta. Betas ask for permission. Alphas take what they want. Okay. Alphas don't always get what they want. That's a whole other thing, but AI is going to clip that and people are going to get pissed and that's fine. Okay. So now I did a whole video about this the other day, but women, they don't want to be respected. They don't want to be respected. Right. Yeah, hold on. I'm jumping ahead here. So I said here, women look at guys that ask is weak. The whole ask for consent movement, the whole idea of telling men to always ask for consent, it's always about weeding out betas. It's about weeding out weak men that women don't want to date anyway. So if they get these guys to like be too scared to make a move and to like ask for consent, that just tells women everything they need to know. Because women are trying to weed out all their options. Women have tons of options and they're looking for their best possible option. And so these little tricks allow women to weed out weak men. Okay. It's the same thing about the we prefer the bears nonsense. Okay. The we prefer the bears nonsense was a narrative designed to weed out weak men that women don't want to date anyway. Okay. It's not true. You can't listen to what women say. You got to watch what they respond to. On this channel, we only care about what women respond to. Okay. So he says, I'm confused because I thought asking was the right thing to do. I thought it showed respect, but it keeps killing the moment and pushing them away. So this is where I was jumping ahead at. I did a whole video on this the other day, a vlog style video, but women don't want to be respected by men they're sexually attracted to. Women don't want to be respected by men that they're sexually attracted to. Okay. They want men that they're sexually attracted to do filthy, unspeakable things to them in the bedroom. Okay. If you don't believe me, read Nancy Friday's book, My Secret Garden. That will tell you everything that women really think about when it comes to sex. And it's not all this politeness. You got to ask for consent bullshit. Okay. It's not. And that book's written by a woman, ladies. So don't come at me. Don't at me. Okay. So the guy says, what am I doing wrong here? I feel like I'm missing something obvious and I don't want to keep doing this. So first off, we already talked about this, but always go for a kiss on the lips. Not a cheek, not a hug. Okay. That shit's weak. That's weak sauce. It's fucking don't do that shit. Okay. That signals that you're a weak man. Go for a kiss on the lips. Always. All right. We have a guy in the wolf pack right now who was telling us that he's been sort of seeing this girl for the last 3 months. They haven't had sex. He's like, they do a lot of like, pecking and fucking hugging and shit like that, but they've never had sex. I'm like, you need to fucking cut her loose. She's a time waster, bro. Okay. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But don't ask for it. Never the cheek. Don't go for a fucking hug. It's weak as shit. Okay. And don't ask. Just go for it. If she gives you the cheek or she pulls back, that tells you everything you need to know. Don't force it. Okay. But go in. If she's receptive, that'll tell you that she's into you. Okay. That it's a test of interest. And all we're doing when we're dating is we are testing for interest. We are testing her ability to follow our lead. We're facilitating fun and fucking. Okay. There's 5 things that we're doing on the dating circuit. That's it. That's our job. We're not pushing for relationships. We're not trying to fucking impress these chicks. We are testing for interest, testing for their ability to follow our lead, facilitating fun and fucking. Okay. That's it. When you're on a date, you want to practice Kino escalation. Kino is a fancy term that's short for the word kinesthetic. Kinesthetic means touch. Okay. You want to do Kino escalation. You want to break that touch barrier. When she was touching your chest, she's Kino escalating you. Okay. She's breaking that touch barrier. That's what she's doing. Okay. You need to be doing the same shit back. Okay. So, when you're sitting on the couch, touch her upper thigh. Okay. Touch her hip, brush her hair over her ears. It doesn't have to be sexual right away. In fact, it's not a good idea to immediately go sexual. Okay. Because you've got to build the heat, healthy emotional anticipation and tension. You want to build that. You want to escalate that. That will get her into such a fucking mood. Her vagina is going to be wet. She's going to want to rip your fucking clothes off. Okay. Take it a little bit slow. Right. So as you're touching her, you're laughing at her jokes, you're touching her thigh and stuff like that, pull back. Stop touching her for a little bit. Engage in some conversation. Then maybe go in for a kiss. Okay. Then maybe while you're kissing her, touch her thigh again, whatever, touch her lower back or whatever. Okay. Pull back again. Pull back. Engage in some conversation. If you're I'm sorry, that was on the couch. If you're on a date, like out in public, do this kind of stuff when you're sitting next to her at a bar, like touch her thigh, going for a kiss. If you're playing pool, like walk up behind her, blow in her ear and shit. Okay. Like all that kind of stuff. And then pull back. Okay. Go in, pull back. Right. If you're out on a date, playing pool, darts, doing this kind of stuff. I love doing distraction pool or distraction mini golf. Okay. If you are doing a date like that and you say, hey, I challenge you to a game of distraction pool. They're like, what is that? It's like, okay, you get to do anything to me when I'm trying to make my shot to distract me. And I get to do anything to you to distract you. What this does is it gives them permission and plausible deniability to start touching you. And once you open up that floodgate, women go ham because they know that their primary agency is their sexuality, and they will touch you like fucking crazy. And they know they can get away with it because they're women. Let them, right? This is good for you. Okay. Then you invite her back to your place with some plausible deniability. Okay. What's plausible deniability? Okay. You want to, hey, you want to come back to my place and meet my dog? You want to see my goldfish or whatever? I used to like to challenge women to a game of Jenga. I would say, hey, you up for a challenge? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, I challenge you to a game of Jenga. You want to come back to my place? I got a bottle of wine. They're like, yeah, I'd love to. Right. They need that plausible deniability because women are hardwired to protect their reputations. They want to be able, when their girlfriends ask them how the date went, to say, yeah, I mean, he invited me back to his place to pet his dog. And I don't know, one thing led to another. Sex can never be their fault. Okay. This is why women hate accountability. Nothing can ever be their fault. So own that shit. Be like, yeah, he got me back to his place because of the dog. And then, I mean, he's such a charming guy. I mean, I don't know. Right. Anyway, plausible deniability. Have a bottle of wine, other adult beverage. It's all goes into your plausible deniability. Okay. But then when you're there, you want to keep practicing that Kino escalation. Kino escalation is going to be a lot of push, pull. Okay. This is where you're going in for kisses, touching, all this kind of stuff and pulling back. Okay. That builds that tension. By the time you actually start touching her in more intimate areas, like breasts, maybe you go up under her shirt or something, hand down the pants, whatever. We don't have to get graphic. It's YouTube after all. By the time you start doing that, she's going to be down. She's 99.99% of the time is going to be down. Now, if she's not into it, she'll take her hand and brush her hand away. Okay. No, we're not going to do that. She might even verbally say that. No problem. Okay. Don't get butthurt by this. A lot of guys get butthurt by this kind of shit. And this is where you will fail. Okay. This is where you'll fail. Okay. You have to stop when she asks or when her body language suggests that she's not into it. Okay. This is why I say you don't want to verbally ask for consent, but you do want to pay attention to her body language. If you don't pay attention to her body language, you might actually get into fucking trouble. Okay. So pay attention and stop when she asks. Okay. Now, this is where the title of the episode is going to get me into trouble. Because when she's saying stop, most of the time, what it means is I'm not ready just yet, and I want to see if you will stop. Okay. Some dudes don't know how to stop. Some dudes are retarded. Okay. They don't know how to stop. And women have an existential fear of being raped, which is a very valid fear. They're with a guy who can manhandle them and do whatever he wants. And she has no recourse. She's in the danger zone. She's put herself there hoping that you will stop when she tells you to. And once you show her that you're perceptive of her body language, that you will stop when asked, now she'll feel more comfortable. So this is why her no really means keep trying, but it doesn't mean keep pushing. Okay. What it means is take a fucking step back a little bit. Continue the conversation. Don't act butthurt. Be like, hey, no problem. Cool. Can I get you another drink or, whatever? And go back into like a funny type thing or, how this reminds me of a funny thing. Start telling her a funny story, whatever. Okay. Pull back. All right. The guys that don't do that shit and lose their cool, that tells them everything they need to know. They'll be out of there fucking quick. They're like, I need to go. I need to get the fuck out of here. Right. So pull back, play it cool, engage a conversation. Okay. Keep practicing that push pull. All right. Coach Corey Wayne, one of my mentors in this space, he calls it 2 steps forward, 1 step back. All right. Try again in a little while, not right away, not within 5 minutes, maybe in another 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Okay. The second time, she'll break her rules for you. Okay. Now, before women get up in their feels, here's a clip from a female comedian that basically explains what women are thinking in this moment. Okay. Hold on. Check this out.
So I still do this as a sexually active adult. I pretend I'm not ready to have sex with someone new yet, just to make sure they're a good person first. I call it the Gobstopper test. I go, oh, I'm not ready. Is that okay? He's like, totally fine. No worries at all. And I'm like, Charlie, you won! You did it! I knew you could, my boy. Now come inside my chocolate factory. It's all for you!
Yeah. That's how it works. Okay, guys. That's how it works. And women will swear that's not true, but then they'll tell on themselves a little bit later. Okay. It's absolutely true. Now, will this work on every girl? No, obviously. Some will say no and mean it. That being said, this is what that means for you. Okay. If you go to do that and she's not into it, at least right then, don't worry about it. Okay. Don't worry about it. Some women need to feel like they're not a slutty slut. Okay. They want, this is part of their, they need plausible deniability kind of thing, right? They want to feel like they're not being a slutty slut, and they also don't want to be judged by you. Okay. All this stuff comes down to women not wanting to be judged. So they might not do it, especially if it's a first date. If it's a first date and she ends up back at your place or you end up at her place, she might be doing this kind of thing and go, oh crap, if I sleep with him now, he's going to think I'm a slutty slut, and then he won't respect me. And so they'll shoot you down on the first date, maybe even the second date. Okay. But here's the thing. Women will sleep with men by the second or third date on average. Women will sleep with a man by the second or third date on average because women don't want to feel judged for being a sleut. That's the sweet spot for them to feel comfortable breaking rules for the men they like. Okay. If she hasn't let you hit by date 3, she's making rules for you and she's wasting your time. She's wasting your time, brother. Okay. Don't be mad at her for it. You're not going to be every girl's cup of tea. Okay. Women make rules for men they're not that sexually attracted to. So they'll say stuff like, oh, no, I can't possibly have sex with you until we're exclusive. Or I can't possibly have sex with you until we're engaged to be married. Or I can't possibly have sex with you until we've been together for 3 fucking months or whatever. I'm a God, I can't remember what the name of it was. It sapiosexual, like a chick who's like, oh, I have to have a deep emotional connection first before. Whatever rules they're giving you, it doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. They're making rules for you. Women will break them for guys that they're absolutely sexually attracted to. They'll do mental gymnastics in their own head to excuse whatever. Oh, well, he was different. You know, he's different because of blah, 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 whatever bullshit that they tell themselves to get right with their God and themselves. That's what they'll tell themselves to have sex with a guy that they're into. Okay. So if they're not doing it, they're making rules for you and they're just not that into you. Okay. This is why you need to maintain a 3-date rule. A 3-date rule. Okay. If you don't maintain a 3-date rule, you'll end up being led on for months at a time. Okay. You will, and you'll think, oh, she's a good girl. No. Okay. The girl that's making you wait for 3 months, let some other guy hit it in a Waffle House parking lot with a throat tattoo on the first date. Okay. It's same girl. She's not a good girl. She just doesn't like you. Okay. There's always another woman, and we're looking for women with genuine desire, women that want to be with us, women that have sexual desire for us. And you'll only do that if you keep your options open and you maintain a 3-date rule. Okay. And you give them, and some of these guys out here will tell you, oh no, if she don't hit it on the first date, fuck her. She's like, okay, you can be that way. You can be that way too. You're going to be leaving a lot of pussy on the table though, because you got, like, my personal opinion, you got to give these women the benefit of the doubt. You got to let them play out their anti-slutty sleut fantasy in their head to make them feel like they're not slutty sleuts. So a 3-date rule is the perfect balance there. And you'll have plenty of sex. Okay. But if you still can't close that deal by the end of date 3, just text her, hey, things have been great. I don't feel a connection, and then move on. Okay. Move on. All right. You're going to waste a lot less fucking time doing that. All right. Let's see what we got. There's a bunch of guys in the chat. I see it here. We've got brother David's in the house. He says, hi, everyone. Erkin's here. Hey, David, let's see. He also says, good day, folks. Man, I don't know what is going on here. Like, StreamYard is jumping all around. Kamal's in the house. He says, come on now. Show us the hair. Don't be shy. I'm growing it out. See, I'm growing it out, but I'm waiting for the reveal because a lot of guys don't realize this. I get a lot of shit. People call me bald. I've been shaving my head for 3 years, but I'm not fully bald. Okay. I do have a big forehead, but it's not fully bald. And the thing is, people like give me shit about it all the time online. I think it's funny because I'm not really bald, for one, and two, like, I'm just not as insecure about it. But a lot of people are so insecure about baldness that it's been a funny social experiment, but I'm kind of bored with it. And I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to grow it out. I think I'm going to fucking grow it out this year. Why not? But I was telling the guys in Wolfpack, I was like, when I finally do it, people are going to be like, did Paul get a hair transplant? No, I just been shaving my head, man. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Let's see here. Be like nothing bothers you. Absolutely. Be like nothing bothers you. And let's see here. Taylor Tomlinson has a good mix of cute and crazy. There's some female comedians out there that I find funny. There's a lot of guys in the red pill space that are like, women aren't funny, whatever. Bullshit. Look at, what's her name? God, she was just on Pearl's show too. I can't even think of her name, but she's fucking funny too. She's racist as shit, but funny as hell. I don't care. I don't care, man. Anyway, so biggest takeaway here is always go for a kiss. Don't verbally ask for consent. Pay attention to body language. Kino escalate, push pull, 2 steps forward, 1 step back type thing. And then 3-date rule. Okay. That will solve 90% of these problems for you guys. Okay. And then, you know what, if you really want a playbook on how to date effectively, that's what Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18 is about. Everything like my whole dating playbook is in this book, and it will put you on game. If you're striking out with women left and right, get that book. Okay. Links in the, if you go to comeonmanpod.com, you can find my books there right here. I don't think I have it in the description because this is a sponsored video. All right, guys, that's all I have. Tune into the live stream tomorrow morning. I will be talking about why your breakup strategy sucks. And I'm going to make the case for breaking up with a woman with some integrity. It's going to be a long episode. It is based on a big, long, multi-week fiasco in the wolf pack. And it's really just to educate other guys that are in this spot. Because my man who was going through this, there's a lot of dudes out there with this mentality. And so we're going to address it tomorrow. If you're in a shitty relationship and you've been thinking about breaking up with a girl and you're just too scared to do it, you're too afraid to be alone, you don't want to break her heart, whatever your fucking pussy problem is, tune in tomorrow's episode, okay? But other than that, that's all we got. We will see you guys tomorrow morning.
You don't fix the storm by folding yourself. She don't want sweet, she wants a man.